Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Hey, good morning, Big Fat Joey. Big Fat Joey Show, biggest thing on radio. What's up?
Good morning, Big Fat Joey. It is freezing out there, but you know what? All I know is it's the end of February, and I'm headed to March, which means spring's on its way.
I think about 22 more days until spring. But yes, last weekend in February 2022. And we've got a jam-packed show for everyone, right, Sin?
Yes, lots of people today. Lots and lots and lots.
We have style and beauty expert Andy Paige, right? And Sin has picked up one of her items.
Yes, I used the Girly Go Garter. We headed to the city, into the subway, not using a bag, that's for sure. And I tried it, and I really loved it.
Right, Andy was talking about her Girly Go Garter, and Sin was like, I got to try this, and we picked it up. This
Fit perfect, doesn't slide down.
No, we picked it up. This isn't
Looks
a paid
cute.
ad or anything like that. We got it on our own, and it looks good. It held everything Sin needed to hold. She didn't have to wear, use her purse or anything like that, and it's a really great one hands-free item and security feature.
Absolutely. I loved it, and no one knew it was there, just me.
Just you. Also on today's show, we have singer, songwriter, musician, Questa, Emilio Cuesta. He is here today with us talking all things music and his latest hit song, FEEDIN, which is out now. And today, we also have R.O.B, Rise on Belief. We have that musician with us with his latest rockin' song, Mirror Mirror. He, R.O.B is a innovative rock music recording artist from Brooklyn, and he is here to speak all things music. And just like him, Emilio Cuesta, Long Island guy, and he is also here speaking all things music with us today. But before we get into all this, we're going to do back-to-back interviews and music because we have a jam-packed show. I'll be back at the end of the show, me and Sin, and we'll be here to wrap it all up. But first and foremost is our interview with Andy Paige, beauty and style expert. Then Questa, we're going to be listening to his song FEEDIN. And we're going to wrap up today's show with R.O.B, Rise on Belief, and his latest hit song, Mirror Mirror. So without any further ado, here we go.
Let's go.
With Andy Paige. Let's go. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line beauty and style expert Andy Paige. Andy, welcome to Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I loved my applause. That was terrific. It's amazing. I didn't know you had a studio audience.
Yes, I have my canned studio audience. They are on demand at a push of a button. Right, guys?
I love it. I love it. Thank you for the applause.
There they are. There they are. They like to hear themselves clap. Well, thank you for being on. I'm super excited to have you on and talk all things fashion, beauty, and style.
The fact that you wanted me on this show to do this is such an honor. Truly. I mean, I would have never thought that a man with all of your breadth of knowledge and experience would be so into fashion. I find it terribly intriguing, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. And I like fashion. It goes hand in hand with what I do, radio and television, what have you, entertainment. And listen, every day you got to get dressed. You can either be fashionably dressed or not fashionably dressed. But even being not fashionably dressed, you can still have some sort of fashion in your life. And you are one of the go-to people. You've worked on numerous TV shows with numerous TV stars, celebrities, well-known names, and you've made everyone look better. But before we get into all that, how did you get involved in fashion and style?
Oh, well, I think you might know a little bit about this. I actually was 5'11" when I was 10 years old. Were you really big when you were young?
You know what? I always was big. I remember one thing is I was 6'4" when I got my license at 16. So that I have confirmation of. I know that's how tall I was at 16.
Well, the reason I know I was 5'11" in the fifth grade when I was 10 years old is because every year when I was in school, they measured us they weighed us, they checked our teeth, and they checked our eyes. So that happened at my little school. So that year, when I was 10 years old and in the fifth grade, I measured 5'11", and that meant that I was the tallest person in the entire school. That meant the cafeteria workers, the janitors, all the teachers, like everybody. So I was 5'11", and that year I weighed in at a heavy 117. So I was 117 pounds and 5'11", so I don't have to tell you that I was on my way to being like model weight, model size. Mm-hmm. And so by the time I was 13, I was already working as a model, making a living as a model. And by the time I was 17, I had dropped out of high school, got my GED, went right into college in New York City, and started working as a model.
Yeah, from that one little thing, fifth grade, you remember all those years ago, and you look back at it, you've done a lot with being a tall woman.
It's true. I mean, it really did all happen that way. No one else in my family really was very tall at all. So when you look at the trajectory of my life, I really did have a lot to do with it. It's very interesting. But it did get me to New York City, and New York City watered me and let me grow in many, many different ways. And it allowed me to, develop and be creative and to be around inspirational people who taught me to think big and to, not settle and to want more and to work hard. And so, in a very small way, eating my collard greens and having a healthy appetite and somehow growing tall did lead me to the life that I enjoy today. It's a very interesting little kernel of the pebble in the pond, if you will.
Now, speaking of interesting, you've worked on a ton of shows. NBC Starting Over, Style Network you've worked with numerous celebrities. How did you get involved in working in television? It's one thing to be a style and beauty expert, but how did you get yourself in the inner workings of TV?
Well, it's very interesting because I come from I grew up in Alabama, and Alabama football was just what we lived and breathed. And so I knew that I wanted to be a sportscaster. I thought if I could be a sportscaster, then I would be just a god in my family. And so I actually have a double master's in media studies and broadcast journalism with the goal of being a sportscaster. But when I graduated with my second master's, there were very few women in sports. Mm-hmm. I won't call out the names, but most of them either were married to the sports director of the network or had some sort of great storied sports career themselves. There was very few women kind of graduating out of a media studies and a broadcast journalism career and going right into the sport. So I was offered a small job at an ABC affiliate in Odessa, Texas, and the money was so little, it was excruciating. Let me tell you, it was way south of $20,000 a year. And this was, in the 90s. This was not that long ago. And so I was like, should I do this? Should I not do this? And a friend of mine suggested that I go to RTNDA, which is a huge news director and radio television news director association conference in Las Vegas. And from there, I was recruited by QVC. And QVC had me on their radar. I did a few trainings with QVC. I thought that that's what I was going to do. And from my QVC training, I was then offered a job on Starting Over. Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting how I went from one direction of the industry to the other. But I started out wanting to be a sportscaster. I went to this big convention. I got recruited by QVC, and then that pushed me into network television. So it was a bit of a pinball move, to say the least.
Now, doing the style on a budget and making people look more extravagant than the actual clothes are worth. Mm-hmm. What is one of the secrets to that?
No problem. So my first go-to is color, because rich color has implied value, and it doesn't cost a penny more. So a strong saturated color will always look more luxurious than a basic gray or a basic black or a basic white or a neutral. So color has implied value. So that's your first go-to. And then the second thing is all about fit. When something is ill-fitted, it naturally looks like you just pulled it off the rack or it looks cheap. So if you can take a garment that, may cost well under $100, even under $20, and have it tailored to fit you, then it's naturally going to look much more luxurious and as if it came from a designer and was made for you versus, something that was just pulled off the rack and is, ready to wear, as they say.
I know all of this information has been put together because you're also an author and you've written a book, Style on a Shoestring. So now in your book, Style on a Shoestring, what can people garner from it?
There's another part of the industry that some people are starting to catch on, especially with social media and more online purchasing. But, there is a retail calendar. There is a set time when certain things are going to go on sale. There is a set time when stores are going to push merchandise out. And so understanding that retail calendar and when you should really buy things and when you should, not, I think is also really important to building a wardrobe that is cost effective and also fashion effective. So, you learn about the retail calendar. You learn about how to redesign your closet because so many of us struggle to get dressed every day because we have so many things in our closet that don't work. And getting to the heart of why it doesn't work is important. So when I go through someone's closet, we make 4 piles. We've got a donate, a recreate, a contemplate, and a fits me great. And the only thing that goes in your closet are those things that fit me great. Because when you have to kind of wade through all of the bad choices and the weight loss and the weight gain and who you used to be and who you're not anymore and just all of the anxiety that hangs in your closet and the failure that hangs in your closet, when you have to muck through that every day just to get dressed, it just doesn't set you up in the right way. So kind of going through and weeding through your wardrobe so that you feel energized when you get dressed and your wardrobe is working for you. That's another thing that you're going to find in my book so that so that every day you are set up to be your best self and present your best self, whether you're on a Zoom call, whether you're just hitting the carpool, or whether, you're sitting around with your loved one and want to look great. You should start your day in the most positive way, and addressing your closet can sometimes really affect that.
Now, also, speaking of cleaning out the closet, my co-host, Sin, she's got a closet full of, who knows, so many things with tags on them. And she is always looking to thin it out and repurpose it, donate it, and what have you. And I have Sin on with us at this moment.
Hi, Andy. I'm so excited to have you on with Big Fat Joey.
It makes me so happy to be here. I'm happy to meet you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited for all these tips and everything I always have things with tags. I feel like a girl never has enough like dresses or little black dresses, and we just never have enough clothes.
Well, that's not true. We can absolutely get to a point where we have enough. But I'm supposing, are you someone who resells their clothes?
No, I never resell them because I do wear them. Like eventually I do. Like I always feel like you never know when you'll have that party that comes up and then it's like, I need that dress. So I always feel like I always have something on standby to put on. I don't know, because I was caught too many times. Yes, I have a reserve, and I've had that issue before. Like, I need to find this dress, and I have this party, and then I'm just scrambling, and then I'm not happy what I'm wearing. So if I do see something either online or if I'm out, I always feel like I should pick it up because you just never know. And I do end up eventually using them because then I love them because I picked it up. But I don't want to be caught short. So I've had that before. So I think that's what it is.
Well, it sounds like you are prepared for anything. But if you have things that you've worn and you are interested, there are so many ways to resell your gently used one or two wearings. And the other thing that I would highly recommend is, Rent the Runway. I mean, an account on Rent the Runway would give you an opportunity to rent clothes if you ever are in that pinch. So I have lots of friends who do different rental services that, they rent a few key items every month and it keeps them fresh and they absolutely love it. So there are lots of ways to manage your wardrobe now so that you don't have to get caught.
No, it sounds good. I'm going to look into it too. It sounds good. It sounds like it'll be fun. And I believe they even have like jewelry and bags as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this could be
totally
dangerous.
Yeah, I read an article. I read an article the other day that a lot of newscasters use Rent the Runway, especially the ones not in the big markets. Obviously the small markets where I understand the newscaster does everything for himself.
Absolutely, yeah, you have to do that. But it sounds like you have a wardrobe that you could definitely capitalize on. So you could probably open, an account with some of these retail and auction places, and you could probably, what they call, I hate to use their names, but you could sell, and then that money goes into a kitty, and then you use that kitty to rebuy.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to have to look into it. I like that idea. And it sounds like it's a perfect thing to do when we're like in the snow here and not much to do. So that might keep me a little busy.
There you go. Well, and it also just keeps things fresh, right?
Yes.
And it always feels good. What you're looking for is that feeling of something new and different. And so, that's the other thing is that it feeds that shopper need. So it does sound like you've got an amazing wardrobe and a way to capitalize on a lot of what you've already spent.
Yeah, it sounds like a good day. Between that, you need that little black dress. Like you just need that ideal dress, and then bags. Like I love bags. I know some people love shoes. I love bags.
Yep.
I feel like you never have enough.
Well, that's true. I mean, a great handbag is fabulous. It's a true luxury item. A handbag is really your social barometer.
Yes.
It kind of tells people who you are and where you're going and what you need when you get there. So it's true. Handbags are a real visual cue, and there are lots of people that love them. But accessories in general, most of our life, our foot doesn't change. So I agree that you don't have to get rid of shoes. You don't have to get rid of bags.
Right.
They regenerate, and then you can always hand them down. They hold their value.
Yes.
So I think it is a fun place to put your money in to enjoy fashion for sure.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, if you were going to splurge on something, would you say it would be a bag and shoes for a woman?
Well, most of the time, to be honest with you, my splurges come in coats.
Okay.
Because we live in New England, I think that, even if you are dressed in really basic clothes, if you put on a fabulous coat and, a great silk scarf or something like that, then that coat kind of sets the rest of your wardrobe for the entire season. Because, we've gotten away from, really uncomfortable shoes. Everything is about the sneaker now and really high-end sneakers. And if you buy that simple, great handbag you can carry for, 5 years, I know you've got lots, but there are lots of people who just will make that big investment in one handbag and carry it for a long time. But when it comes to a coat, if I buy like the hottest coat every season, then I feel like no matter what I have on underneath it, I'm going to feel fresh. So for me, it tends to be every year I will buy a really, really great, colorful, interesting, of the moment coat.
That sounds like a good idea. And how about for like a guy? Is it always the watch that's like being noticed?
Watches are really big. There's no doubt about that. But I will say the one accessory for men that men overlook, unfortunately, is glasses.
Yes.
Most men need a pair of glasses, and they kind of wimp out. And I think for a man to have a fabulous, modern, unusual pair of glasses, it really shows that you've got some style guts. And it shows that you can expect something a little different from them. It shows that, they're thinking out of the box. They're a little more progressive. So I think when it comes to men, what I really want to see is a fabulous haircut and a great pair of glasses.
And talking about haircuts, what is the latest trend for girls and what's the latest trend for guys? Because I heard you somewhere else talking about that mousse is back.
Mousse is back big time. And mousse is back because the wolf cut is back.
Okay.
So the wolf cut is this kind of amalgamation of a 70s shag meets, an 80s mullet meets, a choppy, kind of a 90s retro moment. It's called the wolf cut. It's both for men and women, and it's just very choppy, lots of layers, and there's lots of volume and texture to it. And it has brought an insurgence of hair manufacturers who are now bringing mousse back.
That is so wild. Now, so is this more like a Miley Cyrus cut, like Billie Eilish? Is that it?
You got it.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus, Billie Eilish, Keke Palmer. Yeah, they've all got this really cool wolf cut going on.
So now for the guys, it's like a longer strands, I guess.
It is, but a lot of the guys are still doing the fade. I personally love the fade, especially if you have facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
So the fade is where it's much longer on the top, and then it gets almost to nothing when you go to the nape of the neck.
Yes.
And if you have facial hair, I think it's a much better look. If you don't have facial hair, then you could have longer hair, actually on your head.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've got facial hair, then I think the fade is really important because you don't kind of want to have that mop and then facial hair as well.
Right. No, that sounds good. Well, and how about for the spring? Like, what should we be looking for the springtime, like color wise?
Well, the color of spring is emerald green. Everything emerald green and pink, believe it or not. Pink is really, really hot. So pink for men is hot. Every shade of green and every shade of pink really is going to be the go-to colors. You're finding pinks in furniture. You're finding greens in furniture. And the same is true in men, like royal, not royal, but an emerald green and a beautiful bubblegum pink tend to be what we're going to see a lot of, both in stripes and textures and patterns and florals and just a little bit of everything, which is exciting to me. It's kind of a nod to preppy, but at the same time, as they stand alone, they just have such a richness and a luxury to them. So I think it's great.
No, I love both of the colors. Even together look pretty. And I feel like anyone can look good in those colors. And not just to say just wear white because it could fade you out. Like those colors look great on anyone.
It's true. I love pink on men because I believe that it makes their skin look so rosy and beautiful, and it brings a youth to them. So I actually love pink on anyone. It absolutely looks great on every skin tone, but I especially love it when men do it, I must say.
Yes, me too. I'm with you on that one. I think it looks adorable. I love it. Well, I'm ready to play my game. Are you ready to play a game?
Oh, dude, let's play.
Let's play a game. It's this or that, Andy.
Everyone's favorite radio game.
This or that, Andy. And you're going to pick the best one for you, okay? No stresses.
For me personally or for listeners?
Either. I guess between both. I see what you feel. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
All right, let's go, Andy. This or that. Are you fabulous or glamorous?
Oh, glamorous.
Are you I'm too sexy or strike a pose?
I'm too sexy.
Shoes or handbags?
Shoes.
Online shopping or going to the mall?
Oh, that's really hard. I'm going to say going to the mall because I really respect the retailers.
Okay. And wearing more black or wear more color?
Color.
And checks, lastly, checks or polka dots?
Check.
Thank you, Andy. So are checks and polka dots? Are checks and polka dots like timeless?
They are. They really are. I tend to not do polka dots because I just think of Minnie Mouse every time. Minnie Mouse is all about the polka dots, but they are timeless. So, that you can do both. And I have polka dots in my wardrobe, but if I had to choose, if I were, the gun was to my head, I would choose the checks.
The checks, okay. Because they have, especially for the winter, they have all these flannel checks and they have so many cute ideas.
Yeah, totally.
Now, Andy, what is one tip or trick you can give my audience on how to style themselves? What do they need to do that's simple, cost-effective, and easily to accomplish?
Yeah. So to me, looking fashionable is looking interesting. So when everything is all one or typical or expected, then it looks dull and it doesn't look like you put any energy into it. Like matching is a skill that we learn in kindergarten. It's not fashion, right? So juxtaposing things is what is fashionable. So putting the checks with the polka dots in the same color family, or, putting, doing something in pink and green, but having none of the patterns match, wearing leather with lace, putting unusual things together in a different way, mixing textures, that is fashion and that is fashionable. So doing the unexpected does not cost any money, but ultimately you will look like you have put things together with a bit more curiosity. It will spark conversation, and it will lead people to believe that you have far more style by just doing things in a bit more of an interesting, unique, and juxtaposed way.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Well, you're more like that. I feel Big Fat Joey puts things together more that doesn't match, but it looks good together. But I think I'm more like, if it's just all black, it looks great.
Yes. And Sin's wardrobe is black and brown. I mean, I'll wear a polka dot jacket with striped pants. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, he has no problem. But I think that's a good idea. I'm going to have to get out of a little bit of the comfort zone.
There you go. Well, just remember that, all black is expected. And when you wear all black, it basically says, I didn't know what else to do.
I guess that's a good way of thinking of it. Yeah, I'm going to have to get out of my comfort zone.
A little bit. Yeah. So when you put things together in a unique way, you're stepping out. You are, saying that you want to try, and you're being the flag bearer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what fashion is all about. Is not, fitting in is not getting ahead.
Right.
If you're just kind of fitting in, that's not what it's about. It's about, doing something a little unique and doing something a little different.
See, I told you.
I know. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna work on it for the spring. Absolutely.
She always comes at me when I put together my own wardrobe.
Yeah,
She's
you
like,
put a lot of color together.
You're wearing green pants with a blue shirt and brown shoes. I said, listen, I'm happy. I think I look good. Let me go.
So now when we step out, we're going to use that Girly Go Garter, because I think that's great, especially for the summer, that you could put everything in it.
Yeah, so tell us about that, the Girly Go Garter and the under wraps.
Well, the Girly Go Garter and under wraps were an invention that was born out of my television career. I was always wearing dresses on set, and I needed a place for my mic pack, and nothing that they ever gave me worked. It would fall down, or they would end up putting it on my back, and I'd get, water blisters from wearing this hot mic pack on my back for hours and hours at a time. When you're filming a television series, you work 6 days a week, often 16 hours a day. And so I was always looking for something that I could wear around my leg so that you wouldn't have to lift my dress to get to my mic pack.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually invented the first one out of a cut-up Under Armour workout shirt and a hot glue gun. And I fashioned it with a cut-up bra, and I just kind of pulled it together. And I was in a bad accident about 10 years ago, and I wasn't sure if I'd ever walk again. And so from the hospital bed, I took that idea and I turned it into the Girly Go Garter, which is now a hands-free purse that you can wear on your leg. It will comfortably hold up to 3 pounds. So, of course, you can carry a mic pack. You can carry your money, ID, lipstick, cell phone, of course, a weapon, insulin pumps, medical devices. It's great for weddings and proms. So it turned into this whole other business. We, at our height, right before COVID, we're in about 7,000 stores worldwide.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a great alternative to a handbag when you're wearing a dress or a romper or something, so that you can access it. And every woman should have it in their wardrobe, because it's really the strapless bra of handbags. You don't need it every day, but when you do need it, you're going to a concert, a festival, to a wedding, someplace where you don't want to carry a purse. It should be your go-to. It's comfortable, and it works great.
No, I love that idea. Even in Manhattan, you're traveling the subways or the train. I mean, that's perfect. I love it.
It's true. It's pickpocket proof. We do a huge European business. So it's true. It's pickpocket proof, and it's fun. It's a little sexy. It makes a great Valentine's gift.
I love it.
And truly, every woman should have one. It's not something you're going to use every day, but you certainly want it in your wardrobe when the time arises.
And you said it holds up to 3 pounds, right?
It will. So it will hold, like I said, a weapon. It'll hold 2 mic packs for camera A, camera B. That was my goal with the 3-pound weight limit. And you can load it with everything you can imagine.
That sounds like a sandwich and a pound of potato salad to me. That's what sounds like to me. I sneak that into the stadium, one on each leg. I'm good to go.
Well, the movie theater with all your treats, like all
the
your
movie
candy,
theater. Instead of paying $50 for a bag of M&Ms, I could bring my Costco bag for $5.
Well, let me tell you, I made one pocket extra big for a flask. So there you go.
All right, I just have to make the sandwich a little narrow.
Andy, you're so fun.
I have so enjoyed this. Thank you so much for thinking of me. It was a pleasure to be on with you. And, for more tips like this, I encourage your listeners to head to my website, senseofstyle.com. My book is in its second edition. As you mentioned, it's called Style on a Shoestring. And if your listeners will follow me on Pinterest, then they'll see lots of things that I talk about on the radio nationwide every week.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
You're so welcome.
Andy Paige.
It's been awesome. I'm really grateful.
Well, thank you for being on. Andy Paige, beauty and style expert. Thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. And I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do. And we'll speak soon.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the line Emilio Cuesta, also known as Questa. Emilio, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Thank you, man. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you for being on. Love hearing your new music. And you know what? You have one heck of a resume out there. You're a musician. You're an actor. You're working on sets. You're doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But before we get into all of that, tell me a little bit about yourself. Give us a little quick peek behind the curtain on who Emilio Cuesta is and why your last name and your A.K.A. name have a slightly different spelling.
For sure. Let's see a little bit about myself. I'm a guitar player. I'm from Long Island. I like chess. I'm a New Yorker. Let's see. I'm working currently on a show called Law and Order, season 21. As a PA, it's my day job as I, keep going with my music and my acting. It's very nice of you to say I have, a big resume of things, but I'm still figuring my way out, like we all are. And when it comes to the last name dilemma, my whole life I've told people, my last name is Questa. Whenever they hear that, the first letter they go on the keyboard is the Q. I swear to God.
Of course.
So. Yeah, it's just the way it sounds. So I figured, what's a good way to get my last name out there in like an accessible way? And just for like the average person to just type in. So I went with the Q approach, and
Smart.
It looks cool too. I feel like it rolls off the tongue.
Like Johnny Quest.
Yeah. And another thing too is my dad and my grandpa are both, very successful in their own fields and their Questas of the sea. So, I guess another reason to make it a Q is like, how can I lead my own path? How can I be the new Questa? So that was kind of it. And so seriously, thank you so much for having me on. I've listened to your show. You have a great voice, like Howard Stern, one of my heroes. And I'm excited to get into
over here. For those who are listening, who send me my check, please. If you want to bump me up to Howard's, just bump me up to what Howard pays in taxes. I'd be more than happy.
Me too. Yeah, but yeah, no, seriously, it's very cool to be on your show.
I appreciate that. Well, you have a new song, FEEDIN. And what I love, and I'm so excited about, because I love this director, M. Night Shyamalan. Your song is on season 3, episode 6 of his TV show Servant on Apple TV, and it's actually going to be that episode is actually February 25th. So first and foremost, tell us a little about FEEDIN, how it came to be, what it's all about, and how you have your song on that great show.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, Bob Dylan once said, if he knew what the song was about, he wouldn't have written it in the first place. So, I don't have to listen to the lyrics, but it's definitely out there. I think one of the themes I like to touch on is family. I talk about mommies in the ice again, looking for a hole to crawl in. That could have many, many meanings. And to me, I don't really know what it is. I kind of was just in a weird zone one day during the pandemic, and I just started kind of writing, and the words literally just kind of came to me. I know a lot of artists say that, the words came to me, I just started writing, but they kind of did. And I think the song is just about how we're just feeding, you know, we're eating and we're living and we're drinking and we're doing our thing, and each day goes by, and you know the chorus is kind of repetitive, and I think that is sort of the idea, like thematically, like it you know, things just keep on going, and things and you know the song is kind of upbeat and melodic, but the words are kind of dark, so I think that juxtaposition is core to the song, but also my music, and I think it's a good first single, because you know, feeding things, you know, songs are going to feed after that, right? And the way I got it on the show, I swear, Joe, I was touched by God. I got really, really, really lucky. Right when I started performing last year in the summer of 2021, I had a gig at a very cool small venue in Manhattan, in Greenwich Village, called The Groove, right next to Cafe Wa.
Okay.
Where, you know, Bob Dylan and Joan Baez used to play, and it's owned by the same people, so it's pretty legit. But literally, like 10 people came, and it was like the middle of the day on a Tuesday, like not very. No, it was very, you know, I was just kind of starting out, and I had a gig, and I played the song, and you know, it was out, and literally some nice lady just came. You know, I think she was just walking around the neighborhood. She sat down, and she listened to my set, and she happened to work for a music supervisor for M. Night Shyamalan on Servant, and she passed it on to supervisor, and she passed it on to M. Night, and then I got an email from her, this woman who I literally met for 5 minutes. Hey, your stuff's awesome. You know, I didn't know what she did. She was just nice to me. We got each other's Instagram. And I got an email, and it was like, hey, M. Night Shyamalan heard your song FEEDIN. He loves it. He wants to put it in Servant. I thought it was spam. I thought the email was spam. I thought, I thought, you know, I'm being punked here.
Right.
So, you know, I sent it to my manager, Luis Valencia, a great guy, Harvard guy, and my producer, Ben. You can find him at Ben Sing. And I was like, guys, what's going on here? This is spam. And they both looked into it, and they were like, no, this is legit, man. Like, you got really, really lucky. And I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. And, you know, from there, we negotiated a publishing deal. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, you know, my first ever single is, I got a publishing deal on a major TV network.
Right. With a major director. Not
so,
like it's, you know.
With a major director.
Right.
And, you know, my dad works in the industry, so I was like, did he help me out here? You know, like, is this like a backhanded thing? And turns out, no, it was just sort of like a great thing that happened. And I think the song very much fits the vibe of it. I don't know if you watched the TV show, but it's very dark and weird. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's really odd, but it's good. It's compelling. And I think that goes for my music too. You know, like when you listen to the lyrics and the multi-layered, you know, textured sounds, it's, you know, it's odd. It's different from the poppy stuff you hear today, but it's good. You know, it's good enough to be chosen by M. Night Shyamalan. So I got really lucky, and you know, we're gearing. Me and my team and I are gearing towards February 25th, and hopefully things kind of go from there, man. You know, it's a great way to get noticed as an artist.
Yeah.
And it's a bop. We always play it live, and people love it. It's kind of, you know, Oasis meets Beatlesy, but like more chill, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and you know, Billy Joel, obviously world-renowned, you know, musician, and when he first started his residency at Madison Square Garden, his first 2 or 3 shows, he was going with all the songs that you never hear. So, and after 2 or 3 shows, he must either got some whispering or a light came on. I was like, yeah, maybe out of the 20 songs I play, I'll play 18 of the songs everyone knows, like Moving Out and Uptown Girl, and I'll play 2 of the esoteric songs that I have written years ago that no one really knows, because obviously people paying money, they want to hear the hits. And you know, but when you're at his level, then yeah, you can play around and do other things. And you know, like anything else in the world, when you're starting out, you know, you got to make sure everyone knows who you are. So in a couple of years, when Questa decides to go, you know, a little more psychedelic, a little more to the left, people are like, all right, that's cool because they already know who you are.
Exactly, Joe. And that's kind of my approach to it all. But I still want to stay weird. And I have 2 songs out right now. My third one, I don't want to talk about too much about it because it's my baby, but it's called Lizard Girl, and we have a pretty big music video for it. And that one's more of a rocker. It's fun, but it's fun, you know. It's just accessible enough for someone to bop their head, and the lyrics are out there, man. They're very weird, and it came to me one night in like a really cathartic, strange way. But yeah, that's the approach. And again, I think the visual element is key. You know, I come from a family of visual storytellers, and I want somebody, like you said, to be able to touch the song, to see the song. And yeah, that's kind of it.
So now, Lizard Girl, as well as FEEDIN, are they going to be on your EP that's coming out on June 3rd of this year?
Yeah. So the EP is going to be 7 songs, which is longer than a usual EP.
Okay.
And it will include FEEDIN, Moon Won't Love Me, which is out. Lizard Girl, which is going to be released sometime around April, and then by June, you know, hopefully when things are, you know, we got more followers and listeners and stuff like that, I'm going to drop a song called Strange Summer, and that's the title of the EP, along with 3 additional tracks, you know, which is a total of 7, and that's going to be kind of my first, you know, album, EP, whatever you want to call it, putting it out there into the world. And Strange Summer is sort of like the umbrella of, you know, it's the title of the EP. It's you know, my favorite song out of the 7. And it was, you can imagine what it's about, you know, summer of 2020, pandemic, COVID, a very strange time for everybody and for me. And it's when I really started getting serious about songwriting. I was doing it before, but, you know, I wasn't producing. I wasn't playing live. I wasn't like really committing myself to like sitting down and like doing it as a craft. But yeah, June 3rd is the day.
Well, I can't wait for that to come out. So now, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Questa?
All right, so at Questa Music on Instagram is my handle. Questa. I'll say it again. Questa Music. On Spotify, the artist name is just Questa in all caps. I think there's another Questa out there that's like lowercase or just, but anyway, it's all caps. I'm also on TikTok. But yeah, follow that Instagram, and then as an actor, just type in my full name, which is Emilio Cuesta, and that's the C. I was on a show called Dope Sick last year on Hulu, which came out this year. And yeah, I seriously thank you for, you know, allowing me to, you know, to be heard on your platform, and for your listeners to be able to listen. I'm always looking to find new people and new listeners and new fans, and really means a lot. So,
Emilio Cuesta, A.K.A. Questa, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you so much luck and success in all that you do.
Thank you so much, Joe. It was a pleasure talking to you. Seriously, what an opportunity. Great guy, great conversationalist, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on. We'll speak soon. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mommy's on the ice again, looking for a hole to crawl in. Daddy's not the sheep, but he's on the lamb again. Water's looking clear today. God decided let us play. She's still freezing. She's still freezing. She's still freezing. Trees are looking green today, but all I see something in the distance. A dark shadow waits on prey. She's still feeding. She's still feeding. And it's still needing a place in my heart. It might stay. It might stay. Up above, they're clapping for a hero. I wanna stay. The cheats and the liars have no bread. For down below, they say it's beautiful, but it's a world they'll never know. I say,
All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line singer, songwriter, and producer, R.O.B, Rise on Belief. Rob, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Hey, how are you, Joey? I'm glad to be on your show tonight. Everything is going well.
Well, thank you for being on. We're always excited to get our indie artists on. It's a great, great time right now to be an indie artist. You know what? There's so many different things going on in the world with music. This is the time for everyone star to shine brightly.
Absolutely. Yes, it is. And I agree.
Now, Rob, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're coming from?
All right, well, I'm R.O.B, Rise on Belief, Brooklyn native, Brooklyn, New York. And music is my life. It's my love. I love singing. I love dancing, but music is my life, and I enjoy writing songs and singing and performing throughout, local areas, different states, and bringing music and joy. It's what I like to do for people. I studied music at the High School of Music and Art, Brooklyn Conservatory of Music. I study rock music with, a family, listening to all different types of styles, rock, R&B, jazz, and rock music is the music that I really love because it comes straight from the soul, straight from the heart. I love the sound of the guitar, sound of the drums, the pounding rhythms, and it just goes straight to your heart and your soul. And, that's why I like rock music, because it's true and real and straight to the heart, and it's the true form. It really touches your soul. So, yeah, basically, that's a little bit about myself.
Well, you know what? I love your music. I grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, what have you, and that's some great old school rock music back then. You have Def Leppard, you have Scorpion, you have Meatloaf, who just passed. You have a lot of great...
Oh, wow, he was one of my favorites.
Yeah. Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, what more could you ask for as a young high school student?
Oh, right. And I also like the new rock artists that are not Evanescence, and I kind of call Maroon 5 a little bit of rockish. I like Maroon 5.
I like a lot of the new rock artists that are out now. So definitely the old and the new makes a great mixture of this, new rock and powerful rock music. Yeah.
Yeah. What's old is new. What's new is old. It just transforms, and, you never really get away from it. Right now in this day and age, you don't have those quintessential rock bands that you had back in the day, a core group of guys or girls like the Bangles or what have you out there, banging around trying to make music. You just have right now singular artists, pop artists right now. So hopefully the band thing, like everything else, what was old is now new. Hopefully that comes around sooner or later.
Well, actually, that's me. That's what I do. I have my whole band, a 5-piece band, bass, drums, keyboards, get 2 guitarists, 2 background singers, and we're kind of bringing back that old good style rock music where you have the band behind you and just giving a great show, because all my music is strictly live instruments, no computer, no keyboards, no synthesized sound. It's all real live musicians, and that's the flavor that I bring to my style of music, which is part of the old style of music, and I bring it into today's world.
Now, what you're bringing in today's world is a new song, Mirror, Mirror, off your latest upcoming album, Bright Fame. Can you tell us a little bit about all of that?
Right. Well, Mirror, Mirror, it's a great, powerful song with heavy bass, screaming guitars, powerful lyrics. Actually, Mirror, Mirror it's a story behind the song. Mirror, Mirror is the story of basically good versus evil, going from the dark and coming into the light. So the song literally tells a story that's kind of similar to my life, some situations that I was going through. I had some hard times and how I came through it. So at the end of the song, it's a big celebration. At the beginning of the song, it's kind of dark and very, very ethereal. And then when you go to the end of the song, it's bright, like literally like you're coming into the light. So it's a very powerful rock song with a true meaning that, touches the heart and touches the soul. I wrote the music. Well, actually, me and my partner, Mark Abishai Brooks, my music partner, we wrote the music together, and I wrote the lyrics. So definitely it's a personal song that can kind of touch the souls of many people out there who are going through situations in their life.
How can my audience find, follow, and keep up with all things R.O.B, Rise on Belief?
Yeah, everybody, my song will be out on February 4th. February 4th, it will be released. Mirror, Mirror is coming out on February 4th. And everybody, please go get it. And you can find me on social media, RobRiseOnBelief.com. You can go to Instagram, RobRiseOnBelief. You can go to Facebook, Facebook.com/RobRiseOnBelief1, the number 1. And you can go to Twitter.com/RobRiseOnBelief. Once again, the website is RobRiseOnBelief.com. The Instagram is Instagram.com/RobRiseOnBelief. Twitter.com/RobRiseOnBelief. And Facebook.com/RobRiseOnBelief1. And the single will be dropping on February 4th. Mirror, Mirror.
Thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do, and we'll speak soon.
All right. Thank you so much. It was great being on your show.
What do you say when you're looking in the mirror? So tell me, mirror, mirror on the wall, will I rise or will I fall? Mirror, mirror, what can it be? You've got the power to see my destiny. You know what? My reflections that you're showing me are so full of your lies. This delusion you try to conceive does not express what I believe. So tell me, mirror, mirror on the wall, will I rise or will I fall? Mirror, mirror, what can it be? You got the power to see my destiny. Stop trying to make me visualize your negative demise. See, I know I am the opposite of what you beat beyond. My pride and dignity, I am majesty. Mirror, mirror on the wall, will I rise or will I fall? Mirror, mirror, what can it be? You've got the power to see my destiny. Wow, wow, wow. Mirror, mirror on the wall, oh, will I rise or will I fall? Mirror, mirror, how can it be? You've got the power to see my destiny. I look into the mirror. I look into the mirror. I look into the mirror. I look into the
What a great show, Sin.
So great, so jam-packed, so busy. Like I said, I love my Girly Go Garter. I love these indie artists. Really busy this week.
Yes, everyone, please follow our indie artists as well as Andy Paige. You know what? It is these people who keep the show interesting and keep us on the air week in and week out. Please give them a follow. Pick up their music. Pick up the Girly Go Garter. Sin loved it. Great item. It'll be March 1st in 2 more days. And hopefully the winter will be gone and we will get some spring and some warm weather because this past week was a little on the chilly willy side.
Absolutely. I'm ready for the spring and the flowers to come up.
All right, everyone. Well, this is Big Fat Joey. Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio here with Sin, reminding everyone to make every sandwich count. Peace.